Whenever we tell stories, we always tell these stories from our perspective. And somehow, in telling the story, we're leaving out the perspective of another person. So in today's gospel, we hear the disciples saying to Jesus, "What sign will you give us?" What sign? Because our ancestors ate manna in the desert. Our ancestors ate that. So they were telling Jesus one part of the story. Because we heard the story in the first reading, didn't we? Because those same ancestors, what were they doing? They were grumbling. They were grumbling and they said, "Would that we had died in Egypt." So they had wanted to die. But the disciples didn't mention that part, did they? No. Just so that they ate that bread. But when that bread came from heaven, they were questioning as well, what is this? So therefore, I want us to look at the other side of the response of Jesus to that response of theirs. And I want you to see that Jesus didn't fully answer that question until the night before he died. So on that night, before he died, Jesus gathered with his disciples around the table, and he took bread. He took bread and he said to them, "This is my body." And he took the wine and he said, "This is my blood." And I believe that one of the reasons that the disciples understood what was going on is that they would have remembered that Jesus said, "I am the bread come down from heaven." I am that bread. And therefore that bread, look at the context in which it is happening. It happened the night before Jesus died. So in other words, Jesus was going to be the one to die, and the people themselves did not have to die. He would die in their place. Also fulfilling what was said to Abraham. When Abraham was going to offer his son Isaac, then Abraham responded to the son when he said, "Where is the lamb for the sacrifice?" And Abraham responded and said, "God himself will provide." So in the celebration of the Eucharist, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing God who provides. He provides the lamb for the sacrifice. He provides the bread come down from heaven. So that Jesus could say, anyone who eats this bread will never hunger. And by saying that we'll never hunger, it means that we should never have all of those questionings in our minds, because we would be satisfied. And the Eucharist says to us that God, who has provided this bread for us, is the God who provides all the answers to our prayers. The Eucharist is the fulfillment of every prayer that we have. Did you hear the word? I said every prayer. Not the fulfillment of some prayer, but the fulfillment of every prayer. And so what do we find? Here at Mary, Queen of the Universe, we're always swamped with persons coming to ask if a mass can be said for this person, for that person, and they all have different intentions. Can you offer a mass for my grandmother who is dying? Can you offer a mass for this person who has just been diagnosed with cancer? Can you offer a mass because I have a big exam that I need to do? Can you offer a mass because my son is going to be ordained as a priest? Or someone who's going to be ordained as a deacon? Or my daughter is going to make her vows in a religious order? They ask for a mass to be said for all of these things. And because of this, we seem to be running out of days here at Mary, Queen of the Universe, with 2 masses a day, that we don't even have enough masses to offer when people ask for their intentions. So maybe this is people saying that we understand what the Mass is about. We understand that every prayer is answered when a Mass is offered. And as many of you as are here today, I know that each one of you would have come here with a particular intention to be offered at this Mass. I'm sure you did, didn't you? You came in with something. So maybe it is that we have all come to recognize the power of this Mass. And so Jesus is saying to us that that is the sign that is going to be offered. The sign offered because in this sign, he offers himself. And as I said at the 10 o'clock Mass, he offers himself body and blood, soul and divinity. He offers himself totally. And he holds nothing back, because that is the sign. It is for this reason that persons need to come to a celebration of the Eucharist. There are persons who make it a point to be present not only on Sundays, but also on days of the week. I find that I need to be present at Mass 7 days a week. And I don't make myself present because I'm a priest. No. I make myself present at the Mass because I am a disciple of Christ. And I want to be there. I want to have my prayers answered. And so I take them to Jesus and I leave them with him, because he knows what he's doing. And therefore he's saying to us, you don't have to die, because I have already died for you and for your intentions. So this is why we have one of our Eucharistic acclamations. When we eat this bread and drink this cup, we proclaim your death, O Lord, until next week. So it's not until next week, is it? But until he comes again. So it means that we'll keep on doing this. And that's why we want to be able to be present at each Sunday Mass and each day, holy day of obligation. The church wants us to be present so that we can participate fully in the offering of Jesus. And because he offered himself, he's saying, I am present for you. I am there for you. That's what the Eucharist is saying to us. One of the messages, I am here for you. Do you believe that? So there is no way that we should feel abandoned like the children of Israel. We should not be coming saying we hope for death. We should not be thinking, what is the point of my life? But we should know the true point of our life is that Jesus has given himself, and he continues to give himself in the Eucharist. So I am the true bread come down from heaven, he says. Whoever eats this bread will live forever. And he's asking us, do you believe that? Do you believe that? And so I hope and pray that our response will be like Martha at the time of the raising of her brother Lazarus, that we can say with her, yes, Lord, I believe. I believe that you are the Christ, the one who should come into this world. And then we can add, the one who gives himself to me in this Eucharist. Do you believe that? If you believe that, then it means you have discovered the purpose for living.